You are standing in the middle of the Maracanã Stadium. 80,000 people are around you, but you have never felt more alone. The final whistle just blew. 1-0. Germany won it in extra time. A low, spinning shot in the 113th minute. A moment you will replay in your mind for years, at 3 in the morning, in hotel rooms, on the flight home, at dinner tables where nobody speaks. You didn't score tonight, not once. And now a man in a suit is walking toward you holding a golden trophy. Not the one you wanted, a smaller one. The golden ball. Best player of the tournament. And as he reaches out to hand it to you, you hear your teammates behind you, some of them sobbing openly on the grass. You take the trophy, you hold it, and you cannot look at it. That is what it feels like to be Lionel Messi in a World Cup knockout. Not the version on the poster, not the highlight reel. The real version, the one where an entire nation of 45 million people has placed its grief, its pride, its wounds, and its history directly on your shoulders, and then watch to see if you collapse. And this isn't even the worst part. The worst part comes years earlier, long before the final, when you realize the trap was set the moment you were born. You grow up in Rosario, a mid-sized city in the north of Argentina. You are small, unusually small. The doctors eventually tell your family that your growth hormone levels are too low for your body to develop on its own, and the treatment costs money that your family does not have. You are 11 years old, and already your career, your entire future, depends on a deal being made. Barcelona's youth academy offers to pay for your treatment if you move to Spain. So, at 13 years old, you board a plane. You leave Rosario. You leave your friends, your cousins, your accent, the streets you know, the specific smell of summer in a South American city. You trade all of it for a medical contract, a shared dormitory, and a training ground in a country where people speak a different version of the same language. Barcelona is perfect. The football is perfect. The treatment works. You grow. You become everything they said you could become. But Argentina, the real Argentina, starts to feel like a foreign country to you because, in a very real sense, it is. And then the national team calls you up, and you go back, and you feel it immediately at the distance. People look at you and they see someone who speaks with a Spanish cadence, someone who plays for a Catalan club, someone who was shaped somewhere else. You will say it yourself years later, in your own words, that when you returned to Argentina, you felt like a stranger, that they attacked you, that things went badly, that the warmth you had in Barcelona disappeared the moment you crossed the border. But none of that is written on your forehead. What is written on your forehead from the moment you put on the blue and white shirt is one name, one impossible comparison. Diego Armando Maradona. The man who did it with his hand. The man who did it with the feet of God. The man who single-handedly dragged a grieving nation through a World Cup in 1986 and delivered them a trophy that felt like an act of vengeance against history. He is not just a footballer to these people. He is a saint, a wound, a religion, and from the first day you wear that shirt, every commentator, every taxi driver, every grandmother watching on a small television in a kitchen in Buenos Aires measures you against him. You score 6 goals in a season at Barcelona. The comparisons get louder. You win the Ballon d'Or. The comparisons get louder. You win it again and again. And every summer, the question resets to 0 because the World Cup is the only court that matters in Argentina, and you haven't won there yet. The year is 2006. You are 18 years old playing in your first World Cup in Germany. You come off the bench in the group stage and score. The country erupts, the machine starts, and then you reach the knockout rounds and Argentina goes out in the quarterfinals. Not your fault, not anyone's fault in particular. But the machine doesn't care about fault. It cares about the result. 4 years pass. By 2010, you are 22. You are already the best player in the world by almost every measure that exists. You arrive in South Africa, and the expectation is not just that Argentina will win, it is that you personally will win it for them. Every game, the camera finds your face between plays, reading your expression, cataloging your frustration, your doubt, your silence. Argentina plays well in the groups, the country holds its breath, and then in the quarterfinals, Germany arrives. That game ends 4-0. 4 goals. You touch the ball perhaps more than any other player on the pitch. You create chances. You run. You press. You do everything except score. And when the final whistle blows, the German players are sprinting in celebration, and you are standing still, looking at the scoreboard, and somewhere in a bar in Buenos Aires, someone is already writing your obituary. You walk off the pitch, and Diego Maradona, who is your coach in this tournament, wraps his arms around you, and you think about what that means. The man you are measured against is holding you, and neither of you has words. Back home, the verdict comes fast. Messi doesn't perform for Argentina. Messi only plays for Barcelona. Messi is a mercenary. Messi doesn't feel the shirt. You have heard these before. They will not be the last time. 2 years later, in 2012, you say in an interview that you dream of winning the World Cup for Argentina more than anything. You mean it. Every word. But the machine takes that quote and files it away as a debt. Now you've said it publicly. Now they own the promise. The year is 2014. Brazil. The biggest stage on earth. And something is different this time. You are 26 and you are carrying the group stage on your back. 4 goals, 3 of them match winners. Moments where the entire weight of the tournament shifts on a single movement of your left foot. You are eliminating teams almost personally. Argentina moves through the bracket. The country starts to believe. You start to believe. And the belief feels dangerous, like a glass structure you are walking through at night. Then comes the knockout reality. Each match tightens. You assist more than you score. You work between the lines, drifting, searching, trying to give teammates the angles they need. The goals don't come in the knockout rounds with the same ease. And the machine tracks this. Every commentator has the graph. Every broadcast runs the statistic. Messi's goals in knockout rounds, measured, weighed, compared. You can feel it. It follows you from the pitch to the tunnel to the dressing room. But you reach the final. Brazil, the Maracanã, Argentina versus Germany for the world. 80,000 people in a stadium that smells of humidity and jet fuel and human electricity. And you play. You move. You create a chance in the first half that goes agonizingly close. Extra time comes and the game is still level. And then in the 113th minute, a substitute named G.O.A.T receives a ball on his chest in your penalty area and puts it past your goalkeeper with the outside of his foot. A beautiful, unbearable goal. And that is when you stand at the center of the pitch, in the most watched sporting event on the planet, and you are handed a golden trophy for being the best player of a tournament that you just lost. You hold it, you don't smile. Somewhere near you, a photographer captures your face exactly right, and that photograph travels across every front page in the world. And the caption isn't compassionate. The caption is a question. The caption says, was it enough? It wasn't. The machine has its answer, and you hear it for the next 8 years. 3 months after the World Cup, the criticism doubles. There are arguments in every newspaper, every radio program, every dinner table in Argentina about what you are and what you are not. Some defend you, many don't. Then the Copa America finals come. First loss, second loss, third loss. Each one its own trial. Each one with you standing on a podium receiving a silver medal you do not want, looking at nothing, thinking something you will not say out loud for 2 more years. And then in 2016, in the Copa America Centenario final against Chile, after the penalty shootout, you miss your penalty. You walk off the pitch before the ceremony is over, and you sit with a reporter and you say it. You say, the national team is over for me. It's been 4 finals. It's not meant for me. I tried. The country responds to your retirement from international football the way a country responds to a political crisis. The president speaks. The streets speak. Social media becomes a kind of collective hostage negotiation. Come back. Don't abandon us. You owe us. You owe us. There it is. The sentence that has been underneath every cheer and every jeer since you were 18 years old. You owe them. You are not a man who plays football. You are a payment plan, a national debt in cleats, and the World Cup knockout round is the collection agency. You go back, of course, you always go back, not because of the pressure, or not only because of the pressure, but because somewhere underneath all of it, underneath the machine and the comparisons and the ghost of the man in the hand of God shirt, you actually love this. You love the game. You love the shirt. You are Argentine in the way that only someone who lost it at 13 can truly be. Desperately, incompletely, achingly. The year is 2018. Russia? You are 30 years old. Argentina's opening game against Iceland, you miss a penalty. The machine starts immediately. In the round of 16, France beats you 4-3 in a match that feels like watching time run out. Mbappé, 19 years old, fast as a signal, already the future, scores twice, and the gap between what you are and what you need to be to fix this starts to feel like a physical dimension. You fly home. There are no trophy flights, no parades. One more year of the question, and now something changes in you. It is hard to describe from the outside, but the people closest to you notice it. The weight doesn't lift exactly, but it reorganizes. You stop performing urgency for others. You play with something colder and something warmer at the same time. Focused in a different way, like a man who has run out of time to be afraid. The year is 2022. Qatar. You are 35. The first knockout game arrives and you score. The second knockout game and you are everywhere. Creating, pressing, demanding the ball under pressure. In the quarterfinal against the Netherlands, the match turns brutal. Late equalizers, penalties, chaos. You score and you run to the Dutch bench and you shout at their manager who had spent the days before the game telling reporters he had a plan to make you irrelevant. You shout something. The cameras catch the rage in your face. The raw, accumulated 16-year rage of a man who has been told over and over what he cannot do. Argentina wins on penalties. You walk into the tunnel and you do something no one expected. You stop. You stand in the tunnel entrance and you stare out at the pitch for a long, private moment, like you are checking to make sure it is still real. In the semifinal against Croatia, you produce one of the most surreal individual moments of the entire tournament. A dribble against a young defender that lasts several seconds and defies the physics of a 35-year-old body, and then a perfectly weighted assist that feels less like a pass and more like a statement. And then comes the final. France. Mbappé again. You score twice and Argentina leads 3-1 with 10 minutes to go and the country is already screaming. And then France score. And again, 3-3. Extra time. The full nightmare. Every ghost of every final you have ever lost is in the stadium. And you hold. You hold through the extra time. You score in the penalty shootout, and when the last French penalty hits the post and the ball rolls away, and your teammates are sprinting toward the goalkeeper, and the noise is something that no longer sounds like human beings, you drop to your knees on the pitch and you cover your face. The people who designed the machine, the commentators, the historians, the debaters, the ones who argued in kitchens for 20 years about what you owe and what you are, they are crying too. Some of them will admit it. Some won't. Here's the thing the machine never understood about you. It was measuring the wrong thing the whole time. It measured goals in knockout rounds. It measured the distance between you and a man who died before he could watch you win. It measured cups and medals and trophies in a system designed to produce exactly one winner every 4 years from a field of 32 nations. It never measured what it cost to carry a nation on a body the doctors once said would never grow. It never measured the price of being a stranger in your own country. It never measured the weight of a golden trophy handed to you while your teammates cry on the grass. The kind of trophy that mocks you by being the wrong shape. The system doesn't care about the cost. The system only reads the final score. But you already knew that. You knew it at 18 when the first Maradona headline appeared with your name in it. You knew it at 22, walking off the pitch in South Africa. You knew it at 26, standing on the podium in Rio with silver around your neck. You knew what you were to the machine. The question was never whether you would win. The question was whether you would survive long enough. Survive the pressure, survive the comparison, survive 4 tournaments and 5 finals and a retirement you couldn't sustain. To find out. And on the 18th of December, 2022, in a stadium in Qatar, after 120 minutes and a penalty shootout and 35 years of being told what you owe, you found out. The peace of mind that comes from having accomplished everything you said afterward has changed me. Not the trophy, not the golden ball with the right shape this time, not the comparisons that finally go quiet. The peace, the specific, hard-earned, impossible-to-fake peace of a man who carried the weight and did not break and was still standing at the end. That is the only score that matters, and for once the machine has no rebuttal.